It's pretty funny to me that if you've been following my channel chronologically, you will know that I've been making consistent investments, a lot of swing trades, and I also get out as soon as I smell, too much value. But at the same time, I'm creating content for you to better understand businesses. So for example, Zoom, why I would invest in it, the pros and cons of investing in it. So this is why I leave these videos up, because you can always learn from it, even though the event is over. But what's funny to me is now that Zoom has dipped a shit ton, now you got people who suddenly decide to discover my channel, see the content, and send me comments like rest in peace because I put 100 grand in Zoom at that time. Guys, if you're just discovering my channel, it was a good investment. The business is a strong business case, but every investment opportunity has its time. You have to choose your own. I've already made my money and cashed out. If you've been following my channel, you've made your money and hopefully cashed out as well. In this video, we're going to talk about why in the past week or so, the stock market has tanked so hard, especially around a lot of the stocks I've picked. We're going to use this as a case study for why I'm against options trading, because a lot of you have been asking. And we're going to talk about what's next. So if this is the type of content you've been looking for, please hit that button. So if this is the type of content you've been looking for, please hit that like button for me. And let's get started. Now, what I'm about to say to you shouldn't be news if you've been following my videos chronologically, but it is important for us to kind of summarize what's happening because it's scary as shit, right? Ultimately, you see a lot of big, heavy drops consecutively. You see a little bit of a bump, you see another huge drop. It's scary out there. I've actually been saying that, right? And there are 3 reasons why this is going on in my mind. And these reasons are why I've been pulling out, as I've been saying for, weeks. Probably 4 weeks now. First and foremost, I've mentioned many times that there's a lot of Republican money in the stock market. And so when the administration changes hands, they're going to freak out. They're going to think the economy is going to slow down and they're going to start pulling money out. I think that is a huge potential for the cause of the drop. Secondly, I've been advocating for investments around office remote productivity. And because the new approach for 2021 is all about how do we figure out how to reopen everything, people are freaking out as well, and they are pulling the money out of the remote office productivity. So this has to do with Zoom, DocuSign, Microsoft. All of these stocks have been dropping. And lastly, I tell you this time and time again, whether you believe it or not, there is a huge amount of people who believe that the recession is coming. You can see in the cyclical trends that a recession should be coming soon. And so there's a lot of people antsy, waiting for a reason to pull out. And for that reason, my hypothesis is that as soon as they see some significant drop, it's going to cascade into a much bigger drop. And I think that is the 3 reasons why the stock market is eating shit right now. Now, circling back, I've been investing consistently through recessions, through ups and downs, and to give you guys a perspective here, you should always invest with optimism, but when there is uncertainty, you should stay out. If you have a reasonable idea that the businesses that you're investing in looks good, there's strong business value, good moat, good bankroll management, etc., and yet you can't tell the direction of the stock market, whether it's an individual stock basis or the entire market, it's time to pull out. And that is what we're seeing. We see companies beating earnings, raising expectations. We know e-commerce is booming, right? Many public companies are saying this publicly, and yet the stocks that represent the industry, not so consistent. Same thing with all the other recommendations. And so this is why I basically held off on making recommendations at this time. And I'm talking about the stock market more holistically, give you that perspective, hopefully so that you can protect your asset. This does not mean that I'm not invested right now. It just means, like I said in the previous video, I pulled out about half my money. Now, in terms of options trading, this is the real reason why I don't endorse it. Obviously, there are ways to make money doing options trading. Otherwise, it wouldn't exist, right? If it's that dangerous, then the If it's that dangerous, then there will be regulations that would have like made it cease to exist. The investment bankers, they do it all the time. It is a legitimate trading strategy. Let's face it, guys, there are too many investors who are new and doing options trading naked. And that's the fundamental problem. What that means is that you do not set a proper tripwire so that if the stock tanks, you're no longer losing 5%, you're losing 50% overnight, right? That inconsistency and the risk is real for a lot of investors who are doing options trading. You can actually see these options trading communities out there, a lot of them who are sharing their screenshots. That shit is not funny, man. Like, whenever I see that, I get that cringe in my stomach, and I just remind myself this is why I don't do that. Because if I make a case and tell you to do this, this might be a good options trading investment, and then most of you don't do it in a good, safe approach, then more of you will lose money than me helping some of you make money. Does that make sense? Right? And similarly, another point I really want to highlight is the fact that when investment bankers do options trading, they have weeks, if not months, worth of legitimate professional research. They create insight that you just don't have. Versus you probably did a day and a half's worth of research at best. And if you keep looking at shit, you're most likely going to end up looking at a one-sided news, because that's how social media and news is served to you, right? It gives you content that you're looking for. A lot of you are not looking for pros and cons. You're just looking for reasons to invest in a stock. This is very, very dangerous to investing in general, even more dangerous if you're doing options trading. So now you know all of the reasons why I do not endorse options trading. I highly recommend that you stay away from options trading. Now, what's next? My honest opinion is that if you have the balls, you would invest in remote office productivity. Because I live in the Silicon Valley, which is the bleeding edge of how office productivity works. And I can tell you straight up that a lot of the companies out here are making the decision. You know, they have basically experienced remote office productivity for the last 3-4 months. And they've made the decision, the conscious decision, to open it up so that employees are allowed to move anywhere, right? You've heard of huge exodus in SF, in New York. A lot of this is driven by the fact that employees are allowing you to move away, and many times giving you a slight pay cut so that both sides wins. You get the flexibility, they get to pay you less. It's relatively worthwhile to do, right? And a lot of people are taking up on the offer to live closer to their family, to be closer to, a lot of my friends are moving to San Diego, closer to the beach, that kind of stuff. And they're saving a ton of money. You can also see this in real estate, right? For example, I have friends who want to move in Arizona. Before COVID, you can get a 3-bedroom house for rent at $1,300 a month. Now it's closer to $1,800, $1,900. So you can see that shit is happening, right? Remote office productivity is happening as a society. And so I believe that these remote productivity companies will continue to grow their business. It's just the market freaked out temporarily. The challenge here, though, I do want to highlight is that I do not know where the bottom is. It might drop more or it might start climbing up, right? It's hard to tell. Because of that 50-50 risk of like human emotions, I personally wouldn't invest in it. That does not mean it's a bad investment, because long term, I do think it will play out positively. Short term, it's just downright scary. Now, there's actually a company that I started investing about a week ago. There is a very particular reason that I did this. And spoiler alert, it is not a COVID vaccine. I'm going to talk about that in the next video. I'm actually pretty excited about this. I've hinted about it in my past videos. Maybe some of you can guess it. But ultimately, I think it's pretty safe. I think there's a lot of money to be had here. And I think it probably makes sense as much as gold does as a short-term investment opportunity. So with that said, let me know if you have any questions or concerns. I would love to hear your opinion about this entire shit show of a market. If you have anything to say about the election, that might be an amusing discussion point as well. Sorry, I've been not putting out content more consistently. My real work has been picking up, and it's been sucking up a lot of my time. But I promise to you, I've created this channel because I'm committed on helping everyone make money, right? And I am part of this community, and I'm here to help you guys with the best of my abilities. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to working with you next time. Thank you.